Will. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
We are here in the sanctuary, which I'm so excited about because we're going to be back at church this Sunday.
We are regathering this Sunday, and we're going to do it with about 50 people. We think that we can have about 25 on either side safely, and so we're gonna give it a go this Sunday and regather.
Oh, that's going to be great. I'm excited to see not only our regular worship leaders in this Sunday, but excited to see all of you, or at least 50 of you, who will join us. And so we're just going to walk through a little bit now for the next few minutes about some of our procedures and some of our policies, and we'll just explain these and talk about them so you'll have a better understanding of what to expect when we gather for worship this Sunday.
So the first thing is that we are asking people to register, to come to our worship service if they want to, and you can do that by calling the church office, and you can also do it online. And there's two reasons for the pre-registration. One is so that we have an idea of when we reach the number 50, and the second one is so that we have a means by which to know who has been here in worship with us in the event that we need to go back and have that record for contact tracing, as they call it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we'll do that. We'll invite everybody to pre-register. Also, though, and I know you know this, that please do not come if you feel unwell for any reason. Think about your neighbor and stay home. And if you have a cough, or if you have the sniffles, or a sore throat, or especially a fever, then just stay home this week and get well, and then come back as soon as you are well.
The other thing that we're going to ask you to do is to wear a mask. And the reason that we want everyone to wear a mask is because I care for you. So it really is out of love of neighbor.
Yes.
And I could be asymptomatic with the virus and not know it. And the last thing I want is to pass that on to anyone else. And so because I love you, Will,
thank you.
I'm going to wear my mask, and I hope you will do the same.
Well, I will wear a mask this Sunday, and you'll see the worship leaders wearing masks, except during the parts where we're actually speaking or singing. Otherwise, we'll have them on as well to join the rest of the congregation in that effort. So we know that that's a really good and a smart idea. We're going to have a special kind of traffic flow as you arrive on Sunday morning, where you'll enter into the sanctuary through the narthex doors, which we think of as being in the rear of the sanctuary, or the Arthur Road doors. If you would come in through either of those Arthur Road doors under our porte cochere, our covered drop-off area, or on Arthur Road, then if you come in those doors, there'll be ushers and greeters who can send you in the right direction as you come into the sanctuary. So that's the way we want to enter, and then we'll exit in a special way as well, and we'll talk about that on Sunday so that you know exactly how to come in and out, but we're not kind of bumping into each other and being all around each other as we come in and out of worship on Sunday.
And the way that we're going to be seated in the sanctuary is that we've got pews that are marked off. We've got safe distancing created within the pews. That's why we feel like we can safely seat about 25 on each side. And if you are a family unit, then you will sit together. Otherwise, everyone will be safely distanced at 6 feet apart.
That sounds like a good plan. The other part of the plan is that as much as we want to greet each other and hug each other and shake hands and all sorts of wonderful ways to interact with each other, we're not going to do that for now. That we'll invite everybody to wait until they get outside in order to wave at somebody from a distance or greet other people from a distance. We don't want people clumping up and being, really in close proximity with each other, because we know that being a little bit apart, 6 feet or so apart, is the best way to stay safe. So if people want to go outside and talk when we're outside and we're in a safer place rather than being inside, then we can stand out in the parking lot several feet apart and greet one another and share love and time with each other once we're outside after the worship service.
That's a really good idea. As far as bulletins, we're going to have those paper bulletins available, and they're going to have extra content than a normal worship service. They're going to have all of the scripture readings and the hymn will be printed in the bulletin so that no one is touching a Bible or a hymnal while in the sanctuary. And we'll have those available in the narthex for you to pick up as you enter in that way. Also know that there will be masks available. If you forget your mask, that will also be available in the narthex to pick up. And there will be hand sanitizer there for everyone. And there will not be any need for anyone to touch a door because the ushers will take care of having the doors wide open.
That's great. We know they're going to think of everything and make a very safe environment for us. We also know that we will need to alter our worship habits a little bit. For example, we won't be passing a friendship pad around. We won't be passing offering plates. We'll have plates at designated places where if you want to bring your offering, you can do that and leave that in the offering plate. Or you can give online. You can certainly go to the GPC website and there's a giving tab, and there are multiple ways to give electronically, or you can mail a check into the church. But we're so grateful for everybody's generosity and stewardship. And so we will have an offering as part of our worship service. We'll just have to do it differently. And there'll be other parts of the service that are different as well, that it's a slightly condensed worship service. So, for example, even last Sunday when we were live streaming and there wasn't a congregation, we don't have the first hymn because we know that congregational singing and singing in close proximity with other people is a fairly easy way to transmit the virus. So we won't have our first hymn. And then when we have different singing parts in the service, like some of our refrains, or we do have a closing hymn, that we're going to invite the musicians up front, the singers who will be up front, to be our voice and to be our voices and to sing as beautifully as they always do. And then I'll have my mask on and I will either hum along or sort of sing in my heart, sing in my mind along. But we'll let the musicians be our voices for this particular time frame of our reopening for Sunday worship, because we don't want to transmit that virus through congregational singing and other things like that. So
yeah. I found myself this last Sunday able to do that because the soloists, the singers that we had were so remarkable, and I was okay just listening to them sing the hymn and to also sing the congregational responses and just listen.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
The last thing that I want to share is that we are not going to have a nursery at this time. We know how difficult it is for little ones to socially distance, and maybe difficult's not even the right word. How about impossible?
Yes.
And so we're not going to have a nursery during this particular time as we start to regather. We've missed you all very much, and so we want to do this for you, and we want to be able to create the safest possible means by which that a few of us can gather here in the sanctuary and have worship together.
Yep.
The online, talk about the online will continue, so speak to that a little.
Yeah, and Susie was intimating at that a minute ago, and it is so special for us to be able to gather back in here to worship, even with only 50 people. But we know that there are so many members of our congregation who may not choose to come back and worship for a variety of reasons. And of course, we want everybody's health and safety to be right there at the top of the list. And so we're going to have our live streaming available again, starting at 9:30. You can tune in to the worship service through the GPC website, through sermons.net, through a variety of ways, but primarily by going to the website, clicking on that yellow box that says click here for Sunday worship, and then you'll be guided through a few more tabs to click for the worship service. So we regret, we've talked about this several times, how much we regret not being able to open wide up for everybody, because we miss everybody. I'll just tell you, we're not as good preaching or praying or singing or anything when it's only us in here, but we are adapting to these times that we're in, and so we do want to make our live streaming available to everybody to join via the website. And then from 9:30 to 10:30, the service will be live if you click on it. So if you come on at 10, you'll be joining basically in the middle of the service. But starting at about 11 o'clock, it takes us about half an hour at the end of the service at 10:30 until 11 o'clock to archive it and to get it on the server and to make it available at that time. But that's what we would encourage people to do, to join in at 9:30 live or to come on at about 11 and see the recording. But we're glad for that technology and for that to be available, but it is a source of remorse for us that we can't all be back together. So, anything else to add? Thank you for your time, everybody. Yeah. And what
really
else?
Good to see you, Will.
Likewise.
And I'll see you again on Sunday. And we will see y'all, whether you're here with us or we see you online. We love you very much and care about you. And we will see you soon.
Great. Thank you, Susie. And we look forward to seeing everybody in the very near future.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.